Ohai, or the city on the Tobol River in the Kostanay region of Kazakhstan. I arose in 1957 in connection with development of the iron ore field and construction of Sokolovsko-Serbaysky mining and processing works. Originally, or, the name of the settlement of builders of Sokolovradstroy Trust. Later miners began to call his Rudnogorsk. After creation of the 10th town it was offered to be called Semidesitipalatinst. In official papers the name of the settlement changed many times. It is hard to say what is the cornerstone of the name of any settlement. More often something very characteristic of them. More rare, the case interferes. It dropped out our city both. Here is how the first chief engineer of Sokolovradstroy Trust 5.1 Berish tells about it. The settlement which began to be built on the place of future city, we builders called Or. And so began to write in all documents. Kombinatovsky companions, two in itself, called his Rudnogorsk, and two so designated in the papers. In the first half of 1955 the director of the enterprise under construction, so then called Plant N.F. Sandragalo and our managing director of Trust Ya. M. Kamelford about a month for were in Moscow and in Almaty for construction of plant and the city. For them on the place there were we chief engineers. We will prepare, happened, the general letter to some instance, we will date in it and the address, settlement or Kostanay region. Incurred for the signature to the chief engineer Kandiliu. He will cross out settlement the Or and will write the settlement of Rudnogorsk and always at the same time will tell. It will be so more optimistic. When paper was prepared by Kombinatovich, Trestovates crossed out settlement of Rudnogorsk and wrote the settlement the Or. Such names seemed to builders more original and essential. For the sake of Or, actually, such grandiose construction was also started. It is hard to say how this war long would continue if not arrival on building of the special correspondent of the Ogoniak magazine 5. M. Paulinen. He examined a pit, the settlement of geologists Pavlovsk and Komsomol, in detail examined construction and the beginning of city building, spent with first builders much time. M. Paulinen's article which appeared in the 14th issue of the Ogoniak, 1955, was called New Settlers Or. She also put end under war at the choice of the name. In article there are such words. This city isn't on the card, it isn't even registered in official lists, it has no name yet, but pioneers of New Magnitogorsk consider that the name which is most suitable in the city Or. The climate is sharply continental, with pronounced alternation of 4 seasons. In the winter within a week air temperature reaches a point -25-40 C. In the summer within 2 weeks up to 30 C. On February 18, 1949 the pilot Mikhail Grigorievich Sergeytanov, flying by over the natural boundary of Sarbay, I paid attention to strange behavior of a compass. In several months to magnetic anomaly there arrived geologists and geographers. The Sokolovsky field of iron ores was so found. Opening and studying of the field is attributed to the geologist 5. A. Pyatnin. In the summer of 1954, the government decided about the beginning of construction of plant and the city Adam. In May 1955 there arrived the first builders. Ya. M. Gimmelfarb and the chief engineer 5. Shens. Berish was the managing trust. Miners, geologists and builders at first accommodated in the settlement of Komsomolsk. Tents were in addition established and also temporary combined and panel board houses are built. In 1955, according to Komsomol permits, there arrived too big to guide the first 4,000 people. The biggest tent town was in the area of All-Union Leninist Young Communist League movie theater. It consisted of 70 tents, therefore became history as 70 Platinst. Other tent towns were in the place of the 39th quarter, near the settlement Komsomol, around Bakery. There lived new settlers more than in 200 tents, on 20 people in every one. 10 towns had the streets which name was told for themselves and which still are in the city. Construction, Pioneer, Komsomol, Ukrainian, Kiev and others. Future city was put in 3 kilometers from Alexievka. The first master plan was developed in 1953 and was designed for 22,000 people. But in 1954 this plan was revised, the population is increased up to 30,000 people. In the summer of 1956 the Presidium of the Supreme Council of Kaz decided to give Or the status of the industrial settlement. Also the settlement Komsomol was brought in line of the industrial settlement. On August 30, 1957 the industrial settlement is transformed to the city of regional submission. Over time the city Or grew in the large industrial and cultural center of the Kostanay region of Kazakhstan. Industrial output in 12 months 2009 was 145.6 billion tenges, a 76.1% of the fact of last year that is connected generally with decrease in the world prices for products of metallurgy. For the reporting period the output of the city forming enterprise Jesk Seppo was 128.3 million tenges. The Kazognupa plant, Transramvagen, leader -2 LP, production of alcoholic products, Erison, soft drinks, Seribe, Irges, the plant of metalwork of Imstalken, dock furniture, Skinnery, as the Ostrototag LP, design and installation of systems of automatic equipment and telemechanics on the railroads. In 2008 in Or the mosque in which construction the best architects and artists of Kazakhstan and Russia took part was open, and in January 2012 in Or opened St. John the Evangelist's Cathedral. During implementation of this plan the territory of the city will be expanded and administrative territorial division is changed. This area will capture the old city between the ravine and eastern frontier of the city. In the area modernization of the existing objects, construction of 2 new schools and 6 kindergartens, restoration of stadium and sports grounds is provided. Kosmonautov Avenue will be continued by the bridge to the right bank area. Also in this area the new tip dispenser will be placed. And in the territory of an archaeological site, the Alekivsky parking, the museum under the open sky will be organized. This area is located between 2 ravines. In the area 6 new kindergartens and the Code of Criminal Procedure new center will appear. In the medical campus, the new station of ambulance and the female crisis center will appear. In Lenin Avenue borders Street is 50 years old of October and Komsomolsky Avenue. The shopping center, the market, office buildings, hotels, business center, the Palace of Celebrations will appear. On Gornyakov Street in a park zone, the large sports complex with stadium, the pool, aquapark and tennis court will be placed. Western area. Between the western border of the city, which laid down along the bypass road, and the western ravine. In this area, the organization of farmstead building will be continued. In the area there will be 3 schools and 7 kindergartens. Anniversary area. It is formed in the free territory between the village Anniversary and the western area. The area will be built up with private houses. In the area, the general education complex and subjects to primary service of the population will be placed. Right bank area. The area will be stretched in the free territory of the opposite coast of Tobol. Sela Serguevka and Belikta will enter city line or. On the bank of the Lake Belikta, the zone of Massachusetts rest of citizens will be created. Tobol embankment, on which there will be movie theaters and entertainment centers, will become the center of the area. Communication of the right bank area with other districts of the city will be presented by 3 new bridges. One will be continuation of Kosmonautov Avenue, the second 2 Street is 50 years of October, and the third continuation of the bypass road. Besides, for journey to the right bank area there will be opened a dam near the village Serguevka, on which communication of the village with the city is nowadays carried up. And also a bridge located in the area from No. 3. That is, about 5 bridges can get to the area. On the outskirts of the area the private sector will be organized. Also in the area there will be public buildings and multi-storied building. The city or is divided into 2 parts, the old city and the new city. The old city is divided into quarters, and the new city is divided into a number of residential districts. For the beginning of 2021, the population of the city makes 128,837 people. The following settlements are a part of city administration or for 2016. Urban type settlement Kachati. Anniversary village. Village of Sergivka. Village of Konstantinovka. Coastal village. The territory of Rodnensky administration is connected by the general system of public transport. The street road network has peculiar history. I was originally Central Street pioneer, which nowadays is considered one of small streets of the old city. During building of the city, the modern street and road system was created. The first bus station was opened in the 60s to 20th century and was in the area of present Stadium, Stroitel. The empty building of this bus station nowadays remained. Later the modern building of bus station was built. For October 2016, 3 firms carriers work at routes of the city. Rodniev Totrans LP, Transexpress Service LP, Pervyak Passashersky Prevazki LP. Earlier in or about 6 carriers worked and there was municipal vehicle fleet. Comprehensive schools. In Or 13 comprehensive schools, from them 3 schools with training Kazakh, 1 elementary school and 1 cadet school. Except comprehensive schools in Or is available the 5 gymnasiums and 1 lyceum. Gymnasium No. 2. Gymnasium No. 5. School Gymnasium No. 10. Gymnasium No. 21. School Gymnasium No. 7 of B. Malin. School Lyceum No. 4. Specialized secondary educational institutions. Rudnensky Polytechnical College. Rudnensky College of Construction and Transport. Rudnensky Social and Humanitarian College of 1. Altinsarin. Rudnensky College of Technology and Service. Rudnensky Mining Technological College. Rudnensky Musical College. Higher educational institutions. Rudnensky Industrial Institute. Mayors. Mustaches, Fyodor Mikhailovich 1963-1967. Gerasimov, Fedor Petrovich 1968-1970. Danilev, Valentin Ivanovich 1970-1979. Asatov, Bulat Karimovich 1979-1988. Muzalevsky, Boris Danilovich 1988-1991. Chairman of the Executive Committee of the City Soviet of People's Deputies. Adibakov, Edward Hakaturovich 1966-1972. Shkurin. Augustine Porfirievna 1972-1975. Carpenters, Anatoly Maximovich 1975-1981. Shribnenko, Boris Lantevich 1981-1985. Kornev, Vasily Evsevich 1985-1987. Kalashin, Alexander Alexandrovich 1988-1990. Akins. Tukhanov, Sakin Makenovich. On February 12, 1992, on March 8, 1999. Bibin, Evgeny Alexievich. On March 8, 1999, on October 20, 2000. Zvev, Anatoly Prokopievich. On October 20, 2000, on April 30, 2004. Diening. Nikolay Yakovlevich. 30 April 2004, 12 June 2011. Yazov, Bakachan Temirovich. Since June 13, 2011, on September 29, 2020. Isperjanov, Kyandik Haidarovich. Since October 5, 2020. Religion. Traditional religions, Christianity and Islam are widespread in the city or work. The Roman Catholic Church, arrival of the street. Island of Pio from Pietrelcina, Orthodox churches. The Rudnensky Bogoslovsky Temple, and the Rudnensky Cathedral of John the Evangelist, the House of a Prayer of Church of Evangelical Baptist Christians, also in Or is available the city mosque, nor constructed in 2008. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.